from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live 10 at 10.
It's very frustrating for our students, for our teachers, for our administrators, for our technology people. There are so many people that this testing affects.
Minnesota educators, including Moorhead Superintendent, says the state testing software has been nothing but trouble and irritating. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. Minnesota Department of Education says statewide testing for the Science Minnesota Comprehensive Assessment will resume tomorrow after being suspended for the online testing yesterday and today.
Now, the MCA is state testing for students, and throughout this spring, Minnesota has had to suspend the exam multiple times because of cyber attacks and software glitches. Valley News Team's Ashley Bishop investigated how it's impacting students locally and what the state is doing about it.
Cyber attacks are to blame for the most recent test interruption on Minnesota's testing vendor. Moorhead Superintendent Lynn Kovash says they have numerous other problems.
Their screens would black out, or they were very slow. They'd give an answer and they wouldn't be able to go on to the next answer. It'd be very slow, or they wouldn't even be able to log on.
You know, this is not okay for students to be disrupted.
Frustrated teachers took to Twitter. Pearson needs to give Minnesota a refund, and it's insulting to all when the tests don't work. Pearson has told the Department of Education commissioner the website is fixed and they do not know who is packing them. The state has a $33 million contract with Pearson. Kovash says she is frustrated with Pearson because they have not been reliable.
We rely on them to be able to produce what they said they would produce for our students. A test that would work for them, that would be on the computer, where we would get immediate results. And a lot of that hasn't happened.
All the testing problems have been on computers. So some people are saying, go back to the old way of doing things. Use paper and pencils. Moorhead Superintendent says that's a great thought, but using the computer system is more efficient.
It takes a lot more money and funds to test them, where if it's on computer, you can get some results rather quickly.
Online testing really is the way of the future. It has allowed teachers to get immediate feedback and then to be able to plan better.
The Department of Education and Kovash continue to be worried. The Department of Education is planning more research this summer. In Moorhead, Ashley Bishop, Valley News Live.
Fergus Falls, along with Dilworth, Clinton, Felton, have had similar problems. School districts have until Tuesday to complete this testing. The state says only 30,000 students have to finish this.
2 players and 2 coaches of the Underwood golf team were honored today as heroes after they ran into a burning building to pull people to safety last night. Chad Groner, Chuck Ross, Chad Peterson, and Braden Consley all sprinted toward the Balmoral Boardwalk condos, banging on windows, kicking in doors, and even carrying out a woman who couldn't walk to safety.
We just ran over there and instantly, without even thinking, to go help and assist people out of the homes.
The Otter Tail County Sheriff's Office says the investigation into the cause of that fire is nearly completed. They were still interviewing the displaced tenants today, saying it could be tied to one of them.
Fargo's Flood Diversion Board is looking forward despite a judge's decision to pull back on the Oxbow Ring Dike. At today's packed meeting, board members continued to talk about several other projects related to the flood diversion. Mayor Tim Mahoney says now the focus will be on summer projects. Those are totaling up to $200 million of work. At this point, the board has 10 days to discuss with the judge what the diversion board can and can't do during this injunction. Mayor Mahoney says many of the people living in the Oxbow area had just gotten appraisals and they were ready to move forward. But with this court order, they might not be able to.
It affects people in that area as far as moving ahead with their lives or doing things. To me, if there's an opportunity to have some conversations with people and see if there's other ways of getting to a solution, I'd be happy to do that.
The court order is set to be lifted after Minnesota's environmental study is finished. That's going to happen sometime this summer.
If oil prices remain steady through the end of this month, North Dakota's oil industry won't have a multi-million-dollar tax cut. The big trigger requires 5 consecutive months of oil prices below $55.09 a barrel. And so far, that May could be the 5th month. However, the state's tax commissioner says the monthly average for May is just shy of $60, and the price would need to drop about $8 to trigger.
The possibility of the trigger occurring right now is pretty remote. If the initial first month decline would have occurred 1 month sooner, the trigger would have occurred. But May which is our 5th month that needs to be below that $55 price. It's too high right now to tumble the amount of price that it needs to trigger it. May is a strong month for oil, so is June.
Last month, the legislature passed a bill that would eliminate the big trigger this December and reduce the extraction tax starting next year.
In tonight's Healthier Me, an exclusive look at those who help heart attack patients. Chest pain, unexplained weakness, or shortness of breath. Any of those signs could lead to trouble.
Valley News Team's Macy Anger got a glimpse of what happens when the all-important help arrives, and she joins us now. Macy?
Mike and Stephanie, heart attacks are more common than you would think, and every minute matters. So we wanted to take you where cameras hardly go. Inside the ambulance, through the hospital halls, and surgery. Just like a heart attack patient, I found out firsthand what you should do if you're ever in the same situation.
On the emergent to the KVL Live Studios.
It can be somebody shoveling snow, it can be somebody sitting down watching TV. That can happen at any time.
FM ambulance paramedics help at least 8 people each day who are having a heart attack.
Going to hook up a thing to your finger to check the oxygen in your blood, and then we're going to put some patches on your chest to take a peek at your heart.
Before you even get in the ambulance, paramedics can detect if you're having a heart attack. They'll ask you questions like, have you taken aspirin? If it's needed, give you nitroglycerin.
And one more.
And oxygen.
Good. So this is your heart tracing here, and there's some signs in here that would tell me that you're probably having a heart attack.
These paramedics are some of the best. The national average for getting a patient to the operating table, 90 minutes. Locally, that average is closer to 60. But paramedics say not everyone will call for an ambulance. Is that a common thing you find, people trying to drive themselves into the hospital?
Yes. A lot of people drive themselves into the hospital, and you can still get very quick and timely care. The difference is that if you go into an emergency room, that heart test that I did on you that says you're having a heart attack, if you go into the emergency room, you have to do that there. Then you have to activate the cath lab.
No matter the time of day, Sanford doctors say it's better to call 911. Now, is this a typical entrance where people would be taken in at?
This is where we would take you in if you were having a heart attack. This is the actual place.
At the hospital, we winded through hallways up the elevator to the cath lab, where surgery would take place.
Nowadays, it's essentially in the high 90% range surviving. Back in like the 60s, 70s, it was 60%. So it was a much more common to be a fatal event back then than it is now. And that's because we have these protocols, we have these therapies.
Doctors say the most important thing, don't avoid chest pain.
Time is muscle.
Because your recovery could go from a few days to a few months. Now, as I mentioned, doctors say depending on your heart attack, recovery is relatively quick, unless you have heart muscle damage, and that can take up to 6 to 8 weeks to recover. Now, in an extreme case, you may have some heart dysfunction, fatigue, and shortness of breath. Doctors do say to prevent a heart attack, focus on any risk factors you can control, like high cholesterol, diabetes, and stop smoking. Mike?
Thanks, Macy. Let's hope that's the one and only ambulance ride you take. The American Heart Association is hosting a walk this weekend to raise awareness about the risk factors of cardiovascular diseases. We've included information about prevention and the walk on our website. Just head to valleynewslive.com and click on this story.
Well, it's getting closer to summer weather. What a better way to celebrate than an evening filled with art, wine, shopping, and dining. This yearly tradition brings anywhere from 300 to 600 people from the community to downtown Fargo. Each of the 5 Corks and Canvas events are all throughout the summer. The 29 participating business locations will have local artists displaying their artwork and wine samples from Happy Harry's bottle shops. The first event was tonight, but future events are scheduled June 11th, July 9th, August 20th, and September 10th from 5 to 9 p.m. Participants will need to purchase a $20 wristband, and attendees must be 21 or older. For a list of participating businesses, go to valleynewslive.com and click on the hot button.
Do you consider yourself a doodler? Whether you're an adult or teenager, you need to check out the Fargo Public Library. Tonight it hosted the first of 2 workshops. Tangling or Zen doodling is an easy-to-learn, fun, and relaxing way to create beautiful images. You just need a pen and a little imagination.
If they're not artists themselves, to realize that you don't have to be an artist to get something artistic out of this. And actually the main goal of tangling and some forms of tangling is not the finished art itself, it's the process.
Now, the next session is scheduled for Saturday, 2 o'clock, and that's at the Dr. James Carlson Library on 32nd Avenue South.
Valley